All right, what's going on, you guys? It's John W.
Fresh
And this is
X.
the Hoopers Hour on Nothing But Net Radio, presented to you by Dash Radio. Today we got a special guest with us, Pat Benson from Sports Illustrated, Atlanta Hawks beat writer. If you're familiar with the Atlanta Hawks and just the writings or anything with the team, Pat is definitely very, very vocal in the community. I love his perspectives. He like I seen somebody say he doesn't take himself too serious, but the articles are always serious, and I definitely agree with that because it's a joke in there too that's always funny, especially how you saying they had to close practice and they kicked everybody out. So players tried to walk on the court, kicked them out too. Like that's how it should be. But Pat, thanks for joining us today, man.
Hey guys, thank y'all so much for having me. I'm a fan of y'all's work. I like everything y'all put out. So this is an exciting moment for me.
I appreciate it. So to get started, we was talking a little while ago, and Pat likes to post pictures of his shoes. Of course, we all agree that we're all sneakerheads. We like shoes.
Right.
Sometimes they're just not affordable to us. But Pat, what kind of got you into sneakers? Like just purchasing shoes like that for casual wear.
Man, I came to it pretty late. It was Kobe's final season. And I don't know, I guess I found some Instagram account or anything. And it was like the Nike Kobe 11 was like what he was wearing that final year. And, they were going crazy with colorways that season. And so I know like performance shoes aren't even like cool like that anymore. But I really, that's what got me into it. And like we were saying earlier, like I can't really afford them all, but I can spot them and I can name all of them. I love it. I just can't really afford them like that.
Sure.
I'm glad you brought up Kobe. You actually have a book that you wrote kind of highlighting his shoes. What kind of inspired that for you? Were you always a fan of Kobe's shoes or whatever?
Yeah, man. So always a fan of Kobe, and then like really got into his shoes, and like I was wearing them all the time. And like the first like couple pages, I explained kind of like why I like decided to write the book. 2020 sucked for everybody, but like it hit everybody different. And for me, like Kobe dies on January 26th. One of my oldest friends dies a month later to the day. A couple months later, I get laid off from my day job and my side hustles from the pandemic, and I had nothing but time on my hands. And my family was like, just do something that that you're inspired by and that you want to do. And I was like, man, I want to just try to document it, and just do my best just to document it for everybody. And it was really fun, crazy experience and like cathartic too, because I was, like everybody, I was going through it in 2020. So
Right.
it's been cool, for just hearing from different people, and everybody has their own story, their own either sneaker story or Kobe story or whatever. So it's cool, talking to people online about that.
Yeah, for sure. Were you a big Kobe fan? I know if you're a fan or not, everybody's favorite player is Kobe because Kobe was for the people. Like,
Yeah.
were you a big
Oh
Kobe?
man. Oh, absolutely. That was my guy. He was our generation's version of Jordan, and uh, big time Lakers fan. But I was probably a Kobe fan more than a Lakers fan, to be honest. And just love him. Love the Mamba mentality. Love just his work ethic. Everything was just so inspirational about Kobe. And still miss him dearly. Still just never met him, but it feels like a death in the family.
No, I definitely agree with that. So just to get into a little bit of your writing history, I know you told us stuff for Forbes, local Chattanooga newspaper. You want to go a little bit more details about that?
Yeah, man. So I think I started writing around like sports writing around like 2018. Did some local like high school sports, that sort of thing, and then Sports Talk ATL was to me like I was like, man, I made it. I'm right. I'm covering Atlanta sports finally, and so that was really cool. Those were some good dudes. And then I hooked on with Forbes Sports, and they were doing this thing where they were covering the NBA pretty well. And I joined that in like January of 2020. NBA season shuts down in March 2020. So just like that, I felt like I got my dream gig, and it slipped away from me that fast. And that definitely had like a big impact on me, because now I'm like, man, these positions, they come and go in a hurry. So you better make the most out of it while you can. So that's why, like with everything I do, like I really try to do it to the best of my ability, just because I know it's fleeting.
Right. No, for sure.
So I know you. You're from Chattanooga, right?
Yes,
Born
sir.
and raised in Chattanooga. Was the Hawks kind of the team that you cheer for a little bit? Since we're a little, I know that's probably about 2 hours away, not that far away.
Yeah, there's some Hawks fans, but man, up here, there is just not a whole lot of basketball fans. Honestly, you probably find more of the people who follow the NBA closely. It sounds crazy. They're probably more Lakers fans than Hawks fans.
Yeah, Lakers
It's-
worldwide.
No, for sure.
Yeah. Maybe that's true. But yeah, there's some Hawks fans, and then we're Chattanooga. Like whenever like the Lakers roll in town, we're the people who show up in the purple and gold. So
Okay.
No,
I got pictures. I was doing it a couple of years ago. So
now that's what's up. Before we get into the talking the Hawks and talking basketball, and you are a Braves fan. Did you get a chance to go to the parade, or did you just watch it on TV?
No, man, I just watched it on TV. But that was such a fun, exciting team. I really love those guys. They're such good dudes. What about y'all? Were y'all able to get down to any of that?
Nah, we didn't get a chance to get down there, but we did watch it. And like I say, I know when they won the last championship, I think I was 4, maybe 4 or 5.
A little older.
So to see them win a championship as an adult, like that's like the best thing ever. Because first of all, it's the only major championship in the city in however long since the Braves won. So just to see that was a good moment for the city, honestly.
Right. For sure. I agree.
Yeah, man, they got some really cool guys on their team too. Like I really like Jock Peterson. Like I'm not like the biggest baseball guy, but like when they got these personalities that like Acuna, they were like larger than life. And like if my mom knows who these players are, then I know that they're a big deal.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Let's start it off real quick. Of course, we've seen the Hawks and the Knicks agree on a trade for Cam Reddish for Kevin Knox, and was it a second round pick or a first round pick?
It was the Hawks. We received a first round pick, conditional first round pick. OKC's picking. We traded Solo, Cam, and a second round pick.
Hey, there he is.
Hey, what's going on, Jelani?
What's going on?
As late as always, the late cousin like
all right. Appreciate y'all for hanging with me.
No, for sure. Pat, this is Jelani.
Jelani, what's up, man?
How you doing, Pat?
Good.
Yeah, as I followed you on Twitter when they said that they got you on the show, I was like, yeah, let me get on that too. I need to ask you a few things. Squad, so
that's funny, man. No, like I was just telling them, man. I love the pod. I love what y'all put out. Yeah, really cool content.
No, appreciate it. But Jelani, since you just got here, you want to kind of go ahead and jump in, or you want to just take your time and feel the flow of it?
Yeah, I'll take my time. As I'll see the questions I got for him first. I'm pretty sure like I don't want to ask repeat ones, but I got
we just getting started. It's all good.
Okay, cool.
We were just about to actually get into the trade.
Okay.
Yeah. So Pat, what was your initial reaction? First of all, I know a lot of people some of us weren't surprised to see Cam go. We knew that was kind of possibly in the works, and there's been some talks of it, little rumors on NBA Twitter the last week or so. But what was your initial reaction to the trade?
I mean, I was shocked because I was at work. I was, didn't really check my phone, and then I was getting these text messages like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." I was like, "Man, who died?" And then I got on Twitter, and then I was like, "Oh, they traded Cam Reddish." And then I like looked closer. I was like, "For what pick?" And who? And so I was surprised. Honestly, I thought he was worth more. I thought, at least like a higher draft pick. And, even then, I hope this is just a move to set up another move, because this is it, man. That was a disappointing return on a big 3-year investment.
Exactly. Jelani, we did the fly through like right before the trade happened, and we talked about some things possibly might happen. So when you saw the trade, what was your reaction to it?
Yeah, because on the fly through, I was the one that was like, yeah, I feel like this is the end of the road for Cam, and I'm that's the only Duke player that I think I've ever liked and probably ever will like. So it definitely hurt me a little bit, like Pat just said, 3-year investment, top 10 pick, obviously part of the Luka trade. So that was kind of our catalyst to see like who won in a sense. I feel like both teams got what got out of it what they expect to get out of it. But like Pat said as well, just like I think I got to sleep in that day. So I woke up and I was like, I forgot what the first thing I saw, but I saw something. I think I saw something from Nick's Twitter, and I was like, oh no. So I went and looked. I was like, no, there is no way Cam just got traded. And I was like, dang, for Kevin Knox and just to protect it first, that more than likely he's not going to be turning into a first at least this year. So or this upcoming draft. So it definitely shocked me a little bit, especially, the return. Like, I thought we may be able to get either one or two of their younger players. I know their front office has played it very, very smart since they've, gotten there, but I didn't think it would just be Kevin Knox. I thought maybe, I know there was rumors that we tried to get,
Quentin Grimes.
Quentin Grimes, yeah, which I would have definitely favored more over than Kevin Knox. But, no one, I mean, we've seen Kevin Knox. He hasn't got much time there. He I don't want to say has similar traits to Cam. Cam definitely has a higher ceiling in my opinion, but he does, have a few things that, maybe if we change the scenery, we can utilize,
Right.
the abilities that he has to possibly come in and, help the team a little bit. But yeah, like Pat said, it definitely was disappointing. I thought we'd have, at least other trade suitors and probably a better return somewhere out there from a different team, especially after all the hype that he was getting the past few weeks, a few 30-point games and all that. So,
right.
Definitely just hoping it sets up for a bigger move, which I know should be coming in the next few weeks. Definitely waiting and excited to see what is going to happen now.
No, for sure. And I know me and Pat talked real quick about that. I think the Kevin Knox trade was, something to start another trade. I know, of course, a lot of Atlanta Hawks fans think it's maybe Ben Simmons. I don't know if it's going to be that. I got this theory in my head that it's going to be this big Super 17 trade. Of course, they're going to make more moves at some point before the trade deadline because I feel like that's the type of GM that Travis Schlenk is. He wants to get the team to the best position as possible. But do you guys see any moves coming up anytime soon? Like, you don't have to be a specific player because as we did through the fly through, of course, we want players like Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and all that. But you guys see them making any more moves that really helps push them to be a playoff team? We can start with you, Pat, real quick.
Yeah, like Jelani said, I think it's definitely going to happen. I don't know who. Apparently, according to Brian Windhorst of ESPN, the Hawks had offered up to 1/3 of their roster for Ben Simmons. So, I mean, it sounds like they're pretty deep in the negotiations for Ben Simmons, but I don't know, man. 76ers general manager Daryl Morey, he's more interested in playing poker, I think, than actually, building a basketball team. So, I hope we bring in a second star for Trey because we haven't really been able to find one. And, I think just about every NBA championship team in modern history, you have a number two. So I think Trey needs a clear number two. What do you think, Jelani?
Yeah, same thing as well. That's a little shy. You said 1/3. I mean, they did say they open for business, so I can't really be too shocked. Like, and they say everyone's on the table besides obviously Trey and Clint because he can't get traded. Even though if he could get traded, I'm sure he may be on the market as well. But like you said, it's looking signs are pointing towards Ben Simmons. In the beginning of the year, before we even tipped off a game, I, with a lot of other people, were definitely against it. Just obviously, well, I wasn't against it because of what he did in the playoffs. I was just against it because I didn't see like the greatest fit of him being here. But now, as the season has progressed, you can kind of see the different things, that he offers that would help this team out. Obviously, he's a two-time NBA All-Defensive Player. All-star, someone that could take a little bit of pressure off of Trey. We'd be able to see Trey off the ball a little bit, more than likely if we put the ball in Ben's hands. So he definitely brings things to the team that I feel like we need, especially now. A spark has to happen sooner or later because I forgot where I was looking at, but I think we would have to go like either 24 or 25, 16, just to break even on the season. And with the Eastern Conference that's gotten a lot better, is a lot younger, and a lot of different teams, it's definitely going to be hard to even look like break into the break-in game or play-in game right now. So it's looking like signs are pointing towards, getting Ben in here. Obviously, they said they want to package him with Tobias. That's a lot of money on the books for us.
That's where my 17 trade come in.
And that's why I was like, I'm all for the 17 trade for sure. Like, I mean, I wouldn't mind having Tobias here, but it's just the money. It's the way the money works.
No, for sure.
It just wouldn't really work out. But I don't know. Hopefully, I trust Slink so far, like we saw on the fly through. The Cam Reddish trade does hurt a little bit, but I feel like it's just him setting up something for something bigger. He hasn't made many mistakes so far, so I'm just going to continue to trust him. And hopefully, he turns this team around. Hopefully, before the All-Star break.
Right. Seriously, yeah. Well, I heard that the Tobias Harris thing. It's and I had got it wrong originally. I was like, wow, we're getting Ben and Tobias. But then I talked to some people who are in Philly, and they said, no, like Tobias would go to a third team. Like y'all said, it'd be a multi-team trade. And they're like, and the reason why they'd be getting rid of him is because they'd be getting John Collins. feel like there'd be too much overlap. I was like, oh man, and that's where like
Yeah, that would hurt to lose John.
That one would hurt. That one would hurt.
Yeah, and he actually just became eligible to be traded. I think
that's right.
Days ago. So he, we'll see what comes next with that.
That'd be tough.
No, because I think John has been, like I said, he's not that second star that Trey needs, but I think he's been real consistent as that second type of player for Trey as far as scoring and just being able to get the ball to and get his own bucket. But I want to not necessarily go back to Cam, but this trade does come fresh off some, Nate McMillan saying we're done with the development stage, and Travis Sleek going on 92.9 saying, maybe I shouldn't have brought everybody back. Just off those, two things right there. It's guaranteed some moves will be made. Right. How soon, I don't know. Hopefully before All-Star break. But what that being said, you think we're going to get to see some of the rookies now? Because I think at no other time this would be a good time to play Jalen Johnson at the minimum, at least help. Right.
I'll let Jelani take that one.
I mean, I don't know if I'm the best one to answer. I've been wanting to see what the rookies can do, especially in that obviously the I don't even know what to call it, but I think we brought in the most 10-day contracts.
That's right.
Or at least it's in the
Chris
in the league.
Right there.
So
we had the biggest NBA history.
Yeah, exactly. So at that point, that's when I thought we would see them. And everybody kept complaining about TLC getting minutes. All these other guys coming in on 10 days that were from the G League as well, or our G League affiliate Skyhawks as well, getting minutes over Jalen and Sharif. So I've been wanting to see them. I don't think, obviously we know the type of coach Nate is. He's more so old school. He trusts his vets and guys that's kind of been there before. We already stick the he hates rookies tag on him. So I don't know. I don't see it for happening anytime soon. Because I mean, even when Jalen Johnson was getting a few minutes, I think that's when Nate was out. With COVID.
Oh no.
We had Gent and I forgot the other assistant coach that came in.
Prunty.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, I think that's when he was getting those few minutes in the NBA games as well. So, I mean, I would hope to see it. I've been wanting to see it. I also feel like, I think Rashad Phillips has said it. I think in one of the spaces one time with Hawks TV, but I feel like they have him playing a position that he probably shouldn't be. I think they're trying to make him more so like a 4. I think he can be sort of a wing. He does have like 4 type, like at least modern day NBA like 4 type skill set. But I think he could kind of play off the wing a little bit. He can create his own shot some. He's getting better. His outside shooting. Obviously, he's just a freak of an athlete. But I don't know. It depends on kind of like where they want to play him. But more likely, I don't see him really getting any PT, especially under Nate and moving forward. Especially if we make trades for Ben and some other key vets. We might not see him until next year.
How about you, Pat? You see either of the rookies getting any more playing time with, us looking for maybe some players just to add in the rotation?
Heck no, not under Coach Nate. Like Jelani said, Jalen only got on the court when Coach Nate was out. I don't know, man, but I am a little bit, frustrated. I know it's win now as it should be, but you still got to develop your young players. Like, look at what the Golden State Warriors are able to do. They're able to walk and chew gum at the same time. Mm-hmm. And I think we've really missed out, especially when y'all mentioned the 10-day contracts. They should have really been getting a lot of playing time then. And I love, TLC, I think, has done well for coming in on the 15th man on the roster, non-guaranteed contract. He had a very low bar, and I think he's cleared that. But still, I think we got to prioritize development over TLC's minutes.
Oh, for sure. Because what was it they were saying, like what you said, Fresh? He doesn't want to spend development over, at the expense of getting wins.
Right. Yeah.
And I feel like, TLC's in the lineup and we're not really getting any wins. So it's like, all right, like not reverting back to we got to develop the guys, but at the same time, I feel like some of those rookies can definitely give us, if not the same production, like a little bit more than what he is doing. Because he has surpassed the bar. I feel like he was kind of forced into a role he probably wasn't expected to be on when we first signed him here. But at that point, like I said, you got to give some of the young blood some type of run because if not, then we're kind of just stuck in the same spot, like getting rookies in, not playing them, shipping them out like Cam. And like you said, it sucks because like you said, we're seeing exactly what Golden State is doing. Kuminga had him a big night the other night. Moody doesn't get that many minutes, but he's forced in here and there. Like we've seen Jordan Poole's development. We've seen all these guys kind of come up in a way like we feel like the Hawks players should be able to do as well. So and obviously that's where Slint came from. So you kind of should be able to see like the correlation. Like all right, like we should be able to do both things at the same time. And
not for sure.
Yeah, and I think maybe they provide a spark also because since they haven't been in the league, they aren't going to be overly scouted at this moment. So I just feel like why not give them a run? Maybe they can just put a burst of youth into the lineup and just another form of excitement. So I really feel like they both could help, and we can use them really in a lot of different positions. I mean, we use the athleticism of Jalen Johnson. Our backup point guard situation in Atlanta isn't perfect at the moment. So, why not see what Sharif could do? So it'll be interesting to see if it happens. But I agree with y'all. I don't think it is going to happen, but it'll be interesting to see.
That's a good point. There's like no tape on these guys either, and that usually equates at least to a couple of good performances.
Right.
If nothing else, they can be a couple. Like that's exactly what they need right now, especially because they haven't won a home game since November, which is that's not what you want from a team. I think we all had high expectations from the team, at least if nothing else, being able to lock in a playoff spot, guaranteed playoff spot, not a playing spot. But just with how they look this year, how you grade them so far right now, Pat?
Man, probably like a. I'm gonna be nice and say like C minus. I'm gonna say C minus. What is that too high? What do y'all think?
Honestly, I don't think so because a lot of games that they're losing, they are right there. It's just they're giving C minus effort, whereas they don't rotate every time on defense. We see Trey sometimes just ball watches. Deion, like I think injuries goes into that as well. Like we've had a lot of players in health and safety protocols. So I think a C minus is fair because I feel like if we had a full healthy roster, they would be okay, honestly.
Right. And not that we're not using injuries or anything as an excuse, but it is a fact that we have the largest roster in NBA history. While a lot of people were getting canceled games, we didn't get any that I can remember. It was just like figure it out basically through that stretch. So I think a C minus is fair. And then overall, we've had solid offense. It's just we've had such defensive issues and things like that. So I think I will give him a C minus so far. Also,
no, surely. How about you, Jelani? I know you a little.
I just want to rip into him, but now I go C minus as well, just because I know, right? I might need to. I do hold back sometimes on the fly through, but this is your show, so maybe I get the chance to rip through him. But now I guess I'd say a C minus as well. I was thinking about it a few days ago, but I was like, at a point. It was a point in time in the season. I think we were on like a 7 or 8 game win streak, and that don't seem like that was within this season whatsoever.
Even at all, right?
At all. In the beginning of the year, it's like they kind of was playing around 500 ball. Like everyone's kind of struggling a little bit, and that's when certain comments, with trade coming out, the regular season's boring. We got to find some type of motivation to kind of get out there and play. And it's just like. We're still a young squad, and like people aiming at us now. Like obviously coming off of Eastern Conference Finals appearance, you can't be, kind of putting that in, or just putting that out there in general. It was, I ain't like that too much, but obviously, like as we can see, as the season progressed, like this winning streak kind of came not too long after that. But then obviously COVID started to hit everybody. It hit us the hardest. We kind of did just have to figure it out, shuffle through, and then obviously injuries as well. I think DeAndre only played a few games. Cam was in and out, and a few other guys. I think Bowie too, and Gallo started the season. I want to say as well. So, it's just been a real up and down season, obviously for us. With guys out, COVID. Us having to sign so many 10 days, us being in the media so much as well. In terms of bad news, obviously we're probably going to talk about it in a second. With John Collins, being frustrated with the offense again for the second year in a row. Just a lot of things that's just been up and down with this team. It doesn't seem like they're as cohesive as a unit as it did like when it was towards the end of the year last year. So I don't know, just a lot of things we're gonna figure out. But I definitely would see a C minus, I guess, with everything that they've had to deal with. And I guess to get most on the positive side, I'm seeing C minus as well because these last 2 games, the energy and effort was there. Timely, untimely, I guess, mistakes. Towards the end of the game. Did didn't go in our favor, obviously, with Miami and New York last night. But the effort is starting to show a little bit. So hopefully, that results in a win sooner or later, and then they'll pick up some steam from there.
Nah, yeah, I definitely agree with that. Hopefully it will, start to, all come together. But just speaking of John Collins, it seemed like we're at the same point last year. Fans questioning coaches and his rotations, John being, not necessarily excited about the effort on offense or defense or just his role in the offense.
Right.
And of course, everybody's gonna feel, maybe, feel a certain way. Of course, we've seen the Gallo comments about how there's no really established hierarchy on this team. Like I said, with this being a second season of hearing this, I guess who we kind of not necessarily put the blame on, but who is it up to fix at this point? Because last year they fired Lloyd Pierce and brought in Nate, and he got it together. I'm with the thinking you can't fire another coach, especially not after extending that coach. So, of course, we want Nate to get it together, but what do the players have to do at this point so John doesn't have to keep coming out with this every year? You want to start this one off, Jelani, real quick?
I mean, I think we all said it on the fly through and just in our tweets and everything. Like everybody's been saying, like he's in a sense, like he's right. Like I don't disagree with pretty much anything that he has had to say. Like Fresh pointed out, or you too, John. Like y'all both said, Trey has the highest usage rate in the NBA, and it should never be that when we have so many guys that can score. And he shouldn't be able to he shouldn't. It shouldn't be that way. Like yeah, John hasn't had as many touches as he probably should have. And like you said, he just wants a more, fluent offense to where it's like they're not keying in on him. I think we said on the fly through, like, it kind of seems like it's like teams sometimes, if Trey's having an on night, they're like, all right, we'll just let, Trey have his on night, but we'll just cut off the rest of the supply. And, at times in the game, that's vital because, he's not going to always be able to hit a bucket for us. Like we're going to need something from Bogey or Kevin or, John or Clint, whoever, may be in the lineup at the moment. So, he has a point in that, but defensively, obviously, that's all effort. It's kind of funny. Like I've had I guess discussions with other coaches I coach with, about whether defense is a skill or if it's something you get better at, or if it's just the effort thing. And it's just like we've been talking about, just haven't seen it really at all from them, like effort wise, or even if it's a skill that they can get better at. We're just kind of letting every team that we go against get at 1:30 at night. Like it's automatic. They see Hawks on the schedule. It's 1:30 that night. So it's everybody's turn to go off. Like there's no reason, even though I like him as a player, there's no reason Anthony Simmons should have almost a 50-point game against us. That's absolutely ridiculous. So John has a point. I know he's the more vocal guy in our locker room. I feel like we do have a bunch of more quiet, reserved type players on our squad. So somebody has to kind of get them going, but it's like I don't know where it's going to kind of come from because, like I said, even these last 2 nights, I've seen better effort, but it's just it's just not all the way there. So, like I said, maybe we talked about earlier, so bringing somebody in, a specific defensive stopper, defensive specialist, or a guy that just comes in and rattles things up. We thought Slank's comments would rattle things up and get on board, but, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. So maybe just bringing somebody in that that's kind of like that specialty will kind of get everything or get everyone back on board. With John saying.
Nah, I definitely agree. How about you, Pat? How do you feel about like I say the second year in a row we hear from John Collins? How do you feel about his statements on the team?
Yeah, I agree with what Jelani said. I think that's his personality. I think there are some conflicting personalities in the locker room, but it's up to the players to fix this. I don't know. I don't want to say they've tuned out Coach McMillan, but sometimes, like if you listen to the post-game press conferences, he'll come in and say one thing, and then the players will say something completely different. And it was like that last night, and like their assessment of the final few minutes. So it's up to the players to fix it. I think that's just like John said. That's kind of like John's personality. He's the outspoken, leader of the locker room, and of course, I agree. He should get some more touches, but it's also he doesn't have the most fluid of offensive games either. He's limited to pick and roll, pick and pop, and he has improved his outside shooting tremendously. So I should give him credit for that. But like everybody, I'm kind of lost for answers. This isn't where I expected the team to be at this time of year, but I think maybe some roster moves, a couple roster moves, and maybe we can get this thing back on track in time for the playoffs.
No, yeah, I definitely agree. I think some roster moves, like I say, just bringing that new life, and like I say, John, they could involve John more on the offense. Like I don't even necessarily think he wants to score more. I just think he wants to help Trey out on the offense and relieve some of that pressure off of him.
Yeah.
Right. And I was listening to some of the comments a few days ago. He was really heavy on we just need to be together. That was kind of his thing. They asked me kind of like, why did he feel like they're not together? And, he just went into, you start losing and it's just easier for everyone to separate. And he's like, they need to fight that, come together, communicate more on the floor, just play better as a team. So I think his mindset and his heart is in the right spot. People just looked at it as like, oh, he just wants to make the all-star team or he's just trying to get shots. But when people thought we were going to be, the Hawks were going to be a top 4 to 5 seed like last year, and now you're looking outside the play-in, that hurts. And at the same time, you want to catch it before it gets bad, because as bad as it's been, the Hawks can easily run off 5, 6, 7 straight wins, and now you're in play-in territory. You're, moving up in the standings. So I think he just want to see the team work as a team.
No, yeah, I definitely agree.
But
Travis Slate, I think we've all grown to like him. He's a very candid GM. He doesn't hold back in interviews. Like he says what's on his mind. He says what he thinks about the team. Pat, how you grade Travis so far in his short stint as the Hawks GM? Honestly,
right? How long has it been? We've had Travis 4 years now. 5 years.
Yeah, I think he's very.
He drafted Trey. Before the Cam trade, an A+, and now right now, let me see what happens. Let me see what happens after the Cam trade. But right now, going into the Cam trade, A+.
Okay, I feel that.
How about you, Jelani? How you grading Travis Slate so far on his
I'm with Pat for sure. With that one, like right now, he's in the, we're recalling back the test scores because someone might have cheated or something. But I definitely would give him a plus. Like I said, the Cam trade does hurt a little bit, and I'm just holding out hope. Listening to his comments, he said, every GM, values, picks, at least these type of picks. So, hopefully he's able to flip it and turn it into something, that would definitely help get this team rolling. And even all the small moves, like even coming into this year, he didn't change the roster up too much. And I don't think anybody would have wanted him to really, because, we weren't even healthy last year in the playoffs. And you saw what we could do. So everyone's mindset is like, all right, we just got to get healthy, honestly. And, we should be right back where we were, and maybe even in the finals this upcoming year. And even, like I said, bringing in Jelani, right, a lot of people was like, all right, we need a backup point guard that can kind of run the offense, but, or I guess kind of be a defensive stopper as well, just a longer and lengthier guy that can maybe hide Trey, even if we do play the two together. And, I thought that was a good move. I did think we should have brought in a different big than Dang, but I could see why they did, just because he can stretch the floor a little bit, and obviously that helps with Trey and his pick and roll, and just a little bit of a different feel than Clint, obviously, because he can't do that. But I mean, even the moves going into this year, he didn't really change anything up. I felt like no one felt like he should, and he brought in some key pieces he brought some guys that would help in little ways that we felt like we struggled a little bit in the playoffs and just overall in the season last year. So definitely A+. But he's in mission right now. We're still kind of seeing what he's about to do now that he made that one trade. But like I said, I'm trusting him so far. I'll continue to trust him. Like I said, that's the one thing. Like Fresh said it on the show too. I like how outspoken he is. You don't really see this too much from other GMs around the league. Yeah. So just how candid and not where he is, but about what he wants to do with the team. That makes me trust him even more. So definitely, I'll give him an A+ for sure.
No, that's right. Like I think you've done a good job. Like say the Cam one, because I just think it's going to be a bigger trade, so I'm not going to grade him on that part yet. Mm-hmm. But I think he's done a great job drafting, even making moves in the regular. Okay, the Rondo move was, I liked it at first. The idea of it was good because it's the same thing with the line right this year. So the idea of it was good. It just didn't work out how we thought it would work out because Rondo was looking to win a championship, and the Hawks weren't necessarily in a championship position last year. But we've seen Nate. He's almost had a full year now with him going to the All-Star break this year. We've seen him help lead them to the playoffs last year. How do you feel about Nate as coaching this Hawks team? Because I feel like he has brought out some great things in some of the players, especially how he's empowered DeAndre Hunter. Trae Young has been great under him. I think he's helped revitalize a little bit of Clint Capela's career after getting traded. But how do you think about Nate so far as the Hawks coach?
I really like him. I think, obviously I'd like to see his rotations change up a little bit, especially I'd like to see him prioritize the development of the younger players a little bit more. But I think he's done the best he can in a really bad situation with the injuries and with COVID and everything this year. It's in the Hawks, like we said, the Hawks were hit harder than any other team. So it's hard to fault him too much this season. I haven't really seen anything too glaring that's like, all right, this guy, he's messing up. So I'm still high on Nate, and I think he's still the right man for the job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with that. How about you, Jelani? How you feel about Nate right now?
Same as him. Like I don't know if y'all in some of these Facebook groups or just Hawks Twitter groups in general.
I see some of the comments.
I would say you see sometimes the Facebook ones is probably more toxic, but they just they're going in on Nate, and it's for the same things that as Pat said. I would like to see him change up the rotations a little because like everybody's like I think one of the ones I was reading today is like he's just too old school, like he's just too stuck in his ways. We're not going to be able to change anything unless he does this and that. And I'm like, I can kind of we can see some of these things. Not like I'm not going overboard like that, but I would like to see him better the rotation a little bit more. Like last year, it was because obviously so many guys are in and out, so many injuries. He was taking over the team after being in the headlines. Lloyd Pierce losing his job, him not even wanting to come there to be the head coach in the first place. So what he did to turn around the organization in that short period of time was just amazing. But even this year, like he's had a lot to work with and deal with, kind of like the same things as last year. But it's just little things here and there. Like even last night, I was reading one of the groups that was like, why did he put JC back in for Okongwu? We should have closed it out. We was on a run, and all of that. So it's just certain little stuff like that. Like I can see why you want to go with your starters at the end of the game, obviously to close it out. They've gotten their rest. JC would be a big part, maybe helping close out that game. But, you kind of got to go with the hot hand at a point. I think the Knicks starters played almost that whole fourth quarter. I know they played like from the 9-minute mark on. So it's like you kind of got to recognize certain stuff like that. So honestly, just being better with the rotations, recognizing certain players, if they're on, they're off, what they can bring to that specific game or in closing minutes, whatever the case may be. So just certain things like that. But overall, he's done a great job with the team. But just hoping it doesn't slip any further, because it's going to continue to be rumblings of just the same repeat of last year and possibly letting him go and all that. Even though I don't think we would let him go, but honestly, just that. So I would give him like an A as well.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, I agree with both of them about Nate, but especially like Nate, we know that he brings toughness and togetherness with the team. I think the next level for him, just like the players can go to another level, the coaches can too, and that is being a little bit more open with his rotation. I think that's what we all have called for.
And Pat, I know you said you couldn't really stay that long. We got you stay about 40 minutes, and like I said, we do appreciate you for coming on here. Like I did want to say, I'd like the John Collins piece about him getting his clothing line into Foot Locker. I really did like that one. The one on the Trey colorways about how it's hard to find them in stores because at one point they were selling out the day they were announced.
True that.
But anything you work, like say, you don't got to go into anything super detailed. Anything you're working on that you want to, put out there.
Man, lately I've just been reading and reacting. I haven't even had time to like come up with anything just because I'm just like, oh no, there's a new tweet. Oh, there's a new move. There's somebody who just got out of health and safety protocols. So I really haven't had anything cooking lately. But hopefully after the trade deadline passes, hopefully I can go back and try to do some more long form interviews and try to do some different, outside the box sort of things. But like I said earlier, man, I really appreciate y'all having me on here. I'm really a fan of y'all's content, and anytime y'all want to talk, man, y'all know where to find me. I appreciate it.
With that being said, you want to give them some social media handles real quick?
Oh yeah, just follow me on social media at Pat_Benson_Jr. And let's pull together, y'all. Let's get back in the playoffs.
No, sure. Like I say, we appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate
coming out here as well, man.
All right, man. I'll talk to y'all soon.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Jelani, what's going on, man? I don't think we've done a solo show with you outside of your stuff, honestly. But just looking at what the Hawks are going into the All-Star break, how you feeling, man? Like I know we do this. We do this to ourselves every.
I saw your tweet the other day that said Travis out of watching this team.
Yeah, it came late last night. I was just like, just debriefing from the game. I had to watch on my phone. I forgot what I was doing, but I was coming back home and I was watching the game. I was getting ready for Snowmageddon over here. Everybody in Atlanta be tripping when we get a few inches of snow, so I had to go to the stores real quick to make sure I could have something to eat. But I was watching the game. I think it was maybe an hour or two afterwards. I was just like, I'm just ready for the next move, Travis. Just lay it on us. You got it. Something has to happen because, I'm thinking obviously Monday we got the Bucks, the defending champs. That's no slouch of a game. And obviously I think our next 8 out of 9 is at home. And the way we've been playing at home, it's just it could get ugly really, really quick. We go into the All-Star break not even looking at a playing game spot. So
all right.
I'm not feeling the greatest. Like I said, these last 2 games, the effort has been there. Obviously, there have been 2 tough losses. We would really want to have those ones back. Just a few changes here and there to get those wins under our belt. But something has to turn around quick because, like I said, we can easily go into the All-Star break and really not even be in a great position for even a playing game. So just hoping we can rattle off some wins before like I said, closer to that trade deadline and just have some type of hope. But I'm not feeling the greatest right now. I will say that.
Nah, definitely.
Like you said, we got the Bucks coming up on Monday, so maybe that's a game team feels inspired to play. You're playing one of the top.
It's Martin Luther King Day. We can't lose on MLK Day.
They got to wear the jerseys tomorrow. They got to wear the jerseys. I forgot about
that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they definitely should. So then, we have to eventually win at home again, right?
I'm hoping.
They should bring the MLK jerseys back and burn the yellow jerseys. I never liked the yellow jerseys. I always thought it was a mistake. I feel like some of the worst Hawks years were in those mustard yellow jerseys with Josh Smith and those guys, Josh Children.
Yeah, they decided to bring them back. So I don't look. Have we won in those jerseys?
No,
that's another. I don't even know if we've won a game, at least not at home for sure. And I actually bought one, and I'm I haven't worn it yet. I'm about to sell it. After I think it was the second or third game we lost to them. I was like, yeah, I don't know about these, and I don't know about wearing it. I'm gonna have to just go ahead and put this on eBay or something. So it's definitely sitting in my closet in the Hawk shop bag still. So if anybody wants, a Trae Young size medium, you can definitely have it because I'm not finna wear. Like I said, it just seems like it's bad juju all the way around with these. So.
Yeah, I feel you on that. And we all on Twitter, so. And of course, for what we beat them in the playoffs, and it's a lot of back and forth. You really feeling this Knicks Hawks want to be rivalry?
Man, I'm over it. I'm not even entertaining it no more. To be honest, they can have. They didn't beat us twice in the regular season. Whether they sweep us in the regular season again, it really doesn't matter. We had it where it counts. That was last year. Right now, I'm just focused on the team, and just the dismay that we're seeing. Right in front of our eyes, how everything's just unraveling. And how we're just not the same team as we were last year. So it's the Knicks can have their fun. That's all, fine and dandy. I think now with them beating us, they're maybe a game over 500 now because I'm they were honestly stuck in the same spot as we was earlier this year. So
they're in 10th place. We're in 11th.
So it's not too much of a difference. Like I said, they're a few games above us right now in the win column, but they had their struggles of their own. They still got Julius wanting to play God ball 1-on-1. RJ, I guess he had a few good games these last few games, but he was still struggling a little bit as well. Fournier as well, he only plays good against Boston, so they have their struggles on their own. I don't really care too much for the the rivalry, the back and forth. I don't even join in on when Hawks TV or Hoop Spaces does their little
thing. Yeah, I don't
even listen to it no more. I'll just listen to when he does purely Hawks type stuff. So it's whatever to me. They can still see it as a rivalry, but
Yeah, I asked on Twitter yesterday. I was just because I've been saying so much back and forth. I was like, when did all this start? And shout out to Edgar. He hit me up and he was like, I guess the trade just kind of ignited it again or whatever.
I was thinking that too. They're like, oh yeah, we fleet. I seen a bunch of people we got them. Leon does it again. All this other stuff. I'm just I'm y'all just see the name. Y'all have no clue what has been going on with with Cam and
right.
injuries he's had gone through, the inconsistencies, the inconsistent play he's had. Just like they just see the name, see him being paired back with RJ, and just like, oh yeah, we fleeced him, and we gave up Kevin Knox. Kevin Knox don't even play for us, and gave him a first round we don't care about. So honestly, I think trade will work out for both teams in each other's favor. Cam, I just hope he goes on, whether he's with the Knicks or anybody else. Just plays better, has a long lasting career. We feel like he has the potential. He just has to unlock it. Maybe it unlocks there. Who knows? But yeah, that's probably what did kind of like get it back going. Plus, we was about to play him, and people thought Cam may play us and then go 50.
Right. Yeah.
And he ended up not playing.
Right. He was out for a few weeks, but I did see that was the main thing about it being fleeced. But like we said earlier in the show, I just think it's just setting up for a bigger move, honestly. And I mean, you don't really know what Kevin Knox is providing, but if it is setting up to take on more money, you wouldn't want to necessarily bring in a player that already has a lot of money on the books anyway. So I think it makes sense, and in the end, we'll see how it works out.
No, sure.
I do want to see what Kevin does a little bit. Like I didn't think they was gonna play him last night, and even though he did dress out, but I do kind of want to see. No matter if it's with us or somewhere else, I feel like he has some tools to be like a successful NBA player. Like I ain't saying he's a second, third, fourth option on certain people's team, but he can definitely come in and be a quality role player. Like you say, even if he's just like one of those guys we throw out like defensive stopper, like maybe a corner 3 specialist, 3D type guy. I feel like he can provide a little bit, So I hope to see him, get a few minutes here and there, in the upcoming weeks.
There's honestly a group of people who think kind of the Knicks kind of botched his development or whatever. Some people think that there's some talent in him, so we'll see what he provides. But I was listening to Travis when he made the trade, and he was just talking openly about Cam, which, like we said before, that's why I like him. Travis like really lets us kind of know what's going on, but I don't know if you heard it, but when he was talking about Cam, he said how Cam came to them over the summer and was kind of hoping, to get a bigger role, and if he can't have it here, would they potentially look at it somewhere else? He said how he did it the right way. He was cool about it, and they had a good conversation or whatever. And then he went into how he thought that Cam wasn't necessarily going to reach his potential here. He started because he said that he still thinks that maybe he can go on to be an all-star type player and things like that, but it was becoming apparent that he didn't think it was going to happen here or whatever, because he was looking for a role. And then I guess some people started bringing up like the money and stuff like that. So I always like when he talked candid about just everything like that. So that kind of was his mindset with the move. Also, like Cam asked to be moved if he couldn't get the role here. So like I said, I agree with you. It's a good opportunity for him there in New York, because they're going to need a 2 eventually. I don't know how long Evan Fournier's deal is, but everybody doesn't love him there anyway. So it could work out for him there in New York. It kind of sucks it didn't happen here, because all of us did think that he had the talent to be that player, but I think it'll work out in the end.
No,
sure. I did have my fault. I was about to say I did have a question for y'all, like kind of based off of that, because I did hear Travis talking about that. I think I seen a few hours ago something that Cam Reddish said to the New York Post too, like. It wasn't nothing crazy, like just saying, I feel like I can be a star, emerging star in this league, and be that for a team. I was trying, like, I'm just wondering, like, 'cause I did hear Travis say that. I'm just kind of thinking, like, is it more so like, was it not? Because I know, because when he came to them, I guess in the off season, saying like, I want a bigger role here. If not, you look to move me somewhere else. Like that's coming off of an Eastern Conference Finals,
right?
And it's like. I guess do y'all feel like was it more so Cam, or is it more so like this organization? Like did he just not earn those minutes and earn that playing time here to where he could just take off and like feel comfortable here and feel like he could be that star? Or do you think it's more so like him like not even really wanting to be here, or just like kind of seeing the writing on the wall, or like all the mixture of like things he was hearing? He honestly had been in trade talks for like, outside his first year with us, the last 2 years. So, like that, the injuries, just I guess the pressure maybe onto becoming a star, because, I think he was voted to have the most successful career in that 2019 class. So do you think it's like more so of him, like, all right, I feel like I need to go somewhere else, to release my potential, even coming off of Eastern Conference Finals where he actually played well for us and we needed him, or more so like the coaches that, because like, we felt like LP was, handcuffing him, not giving the minutes they deserve, kind of, stunting his growth and his just his mentality in general. And then even with Nate McMillan, we felt like, a spark was going to happen, but it kind of didn't. So I'm just been thinking, like, is it more so him or the coaching staff? Like, what is it?
I'm going to play both sides of the fence a little bit. And this is why. I think it was a little bit more him wanting a bigger role, knowing because initially his rookie year, he did get, if you look, that's the most he started. So he did start a little bit that year, then he got hurt, and you kind of lose those minutes. They signed Bogdanovich, and then this offseason, they extended Kevin. Those are actually people in his position, kind of, if you think about it. So I could see him kind of being in his head, like, because honestly, we could really use what his potential is here. I mean, because Bogey's deal is about to be up soon, and it's flexibility to move him in that last year of that deal anyway. Right. And though Kevin did get paid, I don't think that necessarily took Cam out of getting his deal and starting and things like that. But I think at the same time, you're looking like, all right, they paying these people. We know they're gonna pay Dre. They're probably not gonna pay me. And then if I can't even play how I want, I'm not going to show that I'm worth that. Right. And then I think from the team side, the injuries probably play a little part. And then you can see that Cam has some confidence issues from time to time, which I mean, you can't necessarily be mad at when your coaches aren't playing you at times. So maybe they started thinking like, all right, he still needs a little bit more development, I guess, than we're willing to give, which goes back to, I think, Nate's comment or Travis' comments. And you go from there and thinking maybe we should just go ahead and move on from it.
I kind of feel the same thing where it's like say it was rookie year, he did get a lot of playing time, start games, and then he gets hurt. And DeAndre Hunter, I think that kind of not necessarily stunts his growth, but if you have a player who's gonna kind of provide some of the same things, scoring, shooting, not necessarily the playmaking that Cam brings to the table, but he brings, if not the same, he's a slightly better defender than Cam. Yeah. He's a little older, so you gotta think mentally he's mature and he's ready to go. So I think a lot of that, and then like say bringing in, signing Kevin to a big, to an extension. Bogey also played well, so I think it was just hard for him to get those minutes to build up that consistency and even just that mental toughness that I'm a part of this, I'm a big part of this team, and I'm going to help determine if we win or not. Exactly. Right. And then bringing switching coaches, like Nate did play him a lot in the playoffs, especially after he got healthy, because I think people forget he missed a lot of time at the end of the year last year with injuries.
Yeah, he missed a lot of time last year.
I don't think he's ever found his basketball rhythm on the court, truthfully, to be consistent. And sometimes, change, like with all that being said, a change of scenery is probably, I don't know if it's going to be with the Knicks or not, because I still kind of see the same problem there with Julius Randle, who's a playmaker up there, ball handler, Evan Fournier, RJ Barrett. Like, it's kind of going to be the same thing, honestly.
Mergers of Grimes quickly. There's a lot of guards there.
It's a lot of guards there. So I think Cam still has that potential. I just don't think he was in the right spot just to get those minutes, to get those consistent minutes to show that potential. And, maybe that change of scenery helps that, honestly.
Right, yeah, for sure.
But we about it's about time to get out of here. Of course, as always, appreciate you for coming in late, early, whenever. You always like working with you. But you want to give them some, give them socials and let them know what you're working on.
Of course, as always, appreciate being on shows with y'all. Talking our Hawks. It's always a great time, and definitely enjoyed being out here with Pat as well. But you guys can follow me. I guess my regular Twitter. I do a little bit of Hawks tweeting at G the First. But if you want, you can follow the podcast at WTG MTM Podcast. Me and Thad do a show pretty much talking football, basketball, baseball here and there. Just hip hop, really just pop culture in general. We might do a show tomorrow about these the NFL Wild Card Weekend. And of course, whenever the next news pops off about the Hawks, Atlanta, our Atlanta fly through with Fresh and John will be happening sooner or later. Bryce as well, and I think Ryan hit me up to try to be on there. He wants to relieve some stress as well. So definitely look forward to that. Probably this upcoming week, honestly, because I feel like something's gonna happen. But definitely appreciate you guys having me on, and it's always a joy.
No, for sure. First, you want to go ahead and
you can find us every Monday for Off the Ball Mondays on Nothing But Net channel through the Dash Radio app, 3:00 every Wednesday for the Hoopers run at 12 o'clock. And anywhere podcasts are available, just search the Hoopers Pod. And that's all I
That's
got.
it. I'm John W.
It's Fresh X.
This is the Hoopers Hour on Nothing But Net Radio, presented to you by Dash Radio.